A review for the game Afraid of Monsters. Afraid of Monsters director Scott focuses on troubled and drug-addicted David Ladroff, who heads to Markland Hospital for rehab to fight his addiction against a mysterious drug. In the bathroom, he finds a bottle of painkillers and takes them, sending him into a drug-induced nightmare. The game is a first-person horror game that takes place in the dark and foreboding world of David's mind. The player must navigate through various levels of the game, avoiding monsters and solving puzzles. The game is a bit short, but it is an interesting and unique take on the first-person horror genre. The puzzles are well designed, and the atmosphere is effectively creepy. The game is worth checking out for fans of the genre. However, there are many outstanding issues like poor optimization, crashes, and graphic glitches. The flashlight refuses to work on lower-end computers because of the way Gold Source Engine works. There is also an issue with it locking on the enemies and not letting you illuminate the surrounding spaces. Despite these issues, the game is still fun and unique experience. The enemies in Afraid of Monsters. The enemies in Afraid of Monsters are creepy and unsettling, representing different aspects of David's addiction and mental state. The most common enemy is the zombie, or the Twitcher.
Post-editing here. The Twitchers have to be the scariest guys, because they quite literally aren't the type of zombie that is slow, or the type of zombie that is fast. Fuck them.
Which represents the addiction itself. There are also giant spiders, or abominations, which represent the fear and paranoia that come with the addiction. Other enemies include mutated dogs, which represent the physical and mental deterioration that comes with drug abuse, self-moving hands which throw themselves to scratch at you, which represents the self-destructive tendencies of addiction, bleeding specter, otherwise known as the flashing specter or the face, is an enemy that appears in the original Afraid of Monsters and the director Scott. It is invisible to player initially, but once it attacks, it reveals itself, appearing as a ghostly face with ghastly features. The AI mechanics of the enemies in Afraid of Monsters. The AI mechanics of the enemies in Afraid of Monsters are designed to be as unsettling and creepy as possible. The enemies will oftentimes jump out at the player or appear on unexpected places. The AI is also designed to make the enemies difficult to kill, forcing the player to use more ammo than they would like with very limited ammo supply. The 4 endings of Afraid of Monsters. The 4 endings of the Afraid of Monsters director Scott are all interesting and offer different outcomes for the player. The 4th ending has David waking up from a nightmare and realizing that it was all just a dream. Doctors are fighting to keep him alive, but he soon flatlines. A couple seconds later, David's pulse returns. He has barely survived a drug overdose. After retracing down the hospital, the camera backs out. It says, "The end? Or is it?" In the 2nd ending, David is shown being questioned by a police officer. He reveals he does not remember what happened during his drug-induced haze. In the 3rd ending, it shows a guard studying a newspaper that reads, "Psychotic killer claims over 27 victims." David is shown in his cell, dead, having hanged himself. In the 1st ending, David wakes up in a house, surrounded by corpses. The monsters that he had been killing to survive were in fact innocent people. His twisted imagination or possibly drug-induced hallucinations had gotten the better of him. With police outside, he is soon arrested. All in all, the endings are all well done and offer different outcomes for the player. It is up to the player to decide which ending they want to achieve. The creators of Afraid of Monsters. Team Cycler is an independent game development studio based in Sweden, and the developer of Cry of Fear. The team was developed by Rumpel and Minut. The team's name is translated to Team Sickheads, with a playword where sick as psych. They also developed Afraid of Monsters DC and created almost everything in Resident Evil Cold Blood. What Afraid of Monsters teaches us. Afraid of Monsters is a game that teaches us about the dangers of addiction and mental illness. It also shows us the importance of getting help when we are struggling with these issues.